I have to ask you guys a question. What do you think, out of my personal story, which involves different things, money, health issues, tshuva, conversions, the emet, fighting against people that are not telling the truth, all types of different things that people get out of it, ambition, Wall Street, all types of stuff. Why do you think there's almost over 1 million people, or at least cliques, have enjoyed it? Countless people have said that it's changed their life, but these people are from all walks of life. Some are Jews, some are non-Jews, some are old, some are young, some were religious, some were not religious and became religious. But no matter who watches the movie, if they're watching it with an unbiased eye, and they watch the whole thing, generally at the end of it, they're very, very inspired. Now, which part do you think they're motivated by the most? No, who wants to volunteer and answer? No? Joshua is doing me a favor and raising his hand. No? Why? Joshua says the physical suffering that I went through, Baruch Hashem, and the monetary loss. Now your answer is right. The question is why? Why do they care about that? Why can everybody relate to it? No, give me the final answer. You're all right, but you have to know why you're right. You can't just, this is not lotto. Now, if I tell you now, if I had my first shiur, and I told you a story, I gave the shiur of Genom. Pirkei Avot number 84, Genom. Now I know everybody that showed up to that lecture was scared permanently. Till this day, they still have a little bit of nightmares. It's good. Tens of thousands of people have watched that shiur, and every single one of them, I believe, has done tshuva. But if that was the shiur, if every shiur was about Genom, would it be more successful or less successful? Now, from some of our videos, it looks like every shiur is about Genom. It's not true, though. If you actually watch the whole shiur, it's not about Genom the whole time. There's just a few clips in it that I scare you guys. The rest of it is not. But if every shiur was just about Genom, every shiur, just Genom, 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 would that be more successful or less successful? Less successful. Why? Okay, so now we're going to combine both answers. What is more scary for people? Genom or toothache? Toothache. Why? Genom is scary, it's far away, but if you don't constantly think about it, and you don't constantly delve over it, eventually it becomes a distant memory. Toothache, I can relate to right now. I've had toothaches. I don't want a toothache. I actually had a toothache earlier, just a few days ago. Toothache's not fun. Toothache's not fun. Nobody wants a toothache. Everybody knows that once you have a toothache, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter your shoe size. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter if you're Jewish or not Jewish. Toothache, you can't function. Can't function. One guy said, "No, listen, this tooth is not going to take over. I'm going to beat this tooth. I'm not going to submit. I'm not going to the dentist. I'm going to continue." Guess what? He passed out from pain. There's no way to beat it other than going to the dentist. People are scared of toothaches much more than Genom. Why are they more scared of toothaches much more than Genom? Because they can relate to it. They can relate to it in their life. They've seen it. They have felt it. So when people see that someone suffered physical pain in different uncomfortable body parts, pain that is unlike anything that they've heard other than stories from the Holocaust, and they understand that this can happen to anyone, because it wasn't like I was living in some third world country underfed and abused, or I was in some Holocaust camp. I was the opposite. And the reality is, it shows how much of a nothing I am, how much of a nothing people are in comparison to just this tiny little thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can send you. Tiny little thing. One cell doesn't work. One nerve doesn't work. One nerve works too much, and so on and so forth. Everyone can relate to it. Of course, they can also relate to money loss. Everybody's scared to lose their money. They work so hard for it. They're scared to lose their money. Now this, Rabotai, is a very, very important thing to know, but it's also mentioned in our Torah. Where? In the movie that we watched today, anyone that hasn't watched it, you should watch it. Rabbi Ephraim says, notice the chidush of this Bareita by Avot Rabbi Natan, which a movie is called Yetzer Tov versus Yetzer Hara, and it reads this Bareita, where it says, Yetzer Hara, כיצד אמרו 13 שנה גדול יצר הרע מיצר הטוב. That the evil inclination, the sages said the evil inclination of a person is 13 years older than the good inclination. And it talks about how for the first 13 years the person does different things. He gets accustomed to violating Shabbat. He gets accustomed to doing all types of sins. And the Yetzer Hara doesn't bother him, obviously, because the Yetzer Hara likes that he's doing all these sins. And the Yetzer Hara is not there. The Yetzer Tov, the good inclination, is not even there yet. He's not even born yet until he's 13 years old for the guy, or 12 for the girl. But once he gets to that age, and the Yetzer Tov is born, the Yetzer Tov says, empty one! What are you doing? You're violating Shabbat. Don't you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Mechalelea mot yumat, that someone that violates Shabbat is going to kill him? He says, empty one, what are you doing? Committing immorality. Don't you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Al yotze dam ma'adam, damo yishafech? Mutzi dam ma'adam ba'adam, damo yishafech? Don't you know that spilling seed, committing immorality, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says he's going to spill your blood? So Rabbi Ephraim says, look at the chidush here. What is the Yetzer Tov telling this person that's sinning? Is he telling him about Gehenom? Is he telling him Kafakela? Is he telling him, listen, you know, Hashem's going to swing you from one end to the other? You tell him it's going to be... No, what are you telling him? Tell him, listen, you idiot. He's going to kill you. You fool. He's going to spill your blood. You fool, you're going to sin, you're going to have physical pain. Physical pain. You want pain? No. Okay, do tshuva. Okay. This is, Rabotai, what our Yetzer Tov constantly tells us. We need to understand a lot of things in a way that we can relate to. But at the same token, come the Chachamim and tell us many, many different aspects of the supernatural, of the mystical, of the things that are afterlife. Why? A balance of both. To know about heaven, to know about Gehenom, to know about cancer, to know about AIDS, to know about all the different things. Because the balance of all of these things, if a person learns about them and develops the right foundation of fear, he can start building a better quality fear. Once you have a good foundation of fear of Hashem, you're afraid to lose, you're afraid to get hurt, you're afraid to get to a bad place. Now you can build a relationship with Hashem to get to a better quality of fear. What's the better quality of fear? A fear of hurting your relationship between you and Hashem. Just like a fear of hurting your relationship between you and your spouse. You're not afraid that your spouse is going to hit you physically. If you and her are normal, you're not afraid of that. What are you afraid of? If you try to have a good relationship, you're afraid of hurting each other. Emotionally, yelling, screaming, cursing, all sorts of things that people do to each other when they don't pay attention. So a person needs to make sure that they don't hurt each other in a relationship. Needless to say, if a person has a good foundation of fear of losing in this world and the next, he can now get to a higher level of fear, which is fear of hurting the connection between him and Hashem, her and Hashem. But you can't get to the second level without the first level. This is why the Yetzer Tov at 13 years old tells him, listen, you go against Hashem, he's going to hurt you physically. He's going to give you a pain in the most uncomfortable part of your body. You're going to curse the day you were born. And you can't just stop it. Oh, stop it, Hashem, I'll do tshuva. It doesn't work that way. Hashem doesn't dance to your tune. Once you force Hashem's hand, that's it. You're lucky if it stops ever. So, that's why, Rabotai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends different Chachamim, different Nevi'im, different people with different skills to help Am Yisrael do tshuva. But the most successful way has always been what the Yetzer Tov is doing, which is scaring people. Why? That is, Rabotai, the number one motivator for human beings. In fact, the number one motivator for all beings, all living beings, are driven by fear. You go to the woods, you start seeing a bunch of animals running, but they're not about to eat you, they run past you, they're scared of something. What? Could be an animal, a predator, a fire. That's what's motivating them to care less about you with or without your gun, and they're running past you. Why? Because they're scared of something much worse than you. You start seeing people run into the store, careless, start taking stuff. They're scared of something much more than the police. Scared of starvation, scared of something else. You start seeing people lock themselves up in a house for 2 months. They're scared of something much more than they're scared of each other's company. Fear is a very critical tool that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has instilled in every one of his beings. And to instill fear in people is important, but only if it's the right fear. Because the Gemara says, someone who instills fear in people just for his own sake, for them to be scared of him, for them to be scared of her. Doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. Doesn't even matter if it's for a public or even for your own family. Mother just makes her kids scared for no reason. Father makes the kids and the wife scared just for no reason. The wife makes the husband scared just for no reason. She wants him, he'll respect me. Why? Because I come from such and such family. He'll respect me because I do this, this, and that. He'll show respect because I'm the man. One of these Arab mentality people, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I hate you. That's what the Gemara says. It's one of the few people in the world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, somebody instills fear into the people for no reason, for his own sake, Hashem hates him. Why? You're misusing my number one tool. How do we know it's his number one tool? Gemara, Masechet Shabbat, says, Yirat Hashem Yotzaro. The fear of Hashem, that's his treasure. It's his treasure, that's his number one tool, fear. So anyone that comes to you and tells you, no, you're just instilling fear in people, this Musar is instilling fear in people. Where do you live, in planet Mars? What do they use in Mars over there? What do they use? Gummy bears? How do you live? Why'd you eat today? I was hungry. So what? Don't eat. Show the hunger that you could beat it. You're stronger than the hunger. Don't eat. No, I have to eat. Why? I'm scared I'm going to die. Oh, so you're scared. Fear does work, doesn't it? Hold your breath for 10 minutes. No, why? I'm afraid I'm going to die. Oh, so you're scared. I thought fear is bad. No, it's not that type of fear. What do you mean? Why are you picking and choosing? Fear is fear. Fear is a tool that HaKadosh Baruch Hu uses. But if you misuse it, Hashem Yishmor v'Yatzil.